No script. I'm about to tell y'all a story about how trusting God changed my life forever. And I ain't going back. Oh, baby, I ain't going back. I ain't going back. You are new here. My name is Whitney. I am a Dallas-based content creator. I really don't know what to call myself nowadays because I do so much. Content creator is like the umbrella, but I have a business. I'm a photographer. I am a social media consultant. I am also a mom and a wife, and this is my first YouTube video, but welcome, and I hope you like it. I hope you stay. I hope you subscribe. But today, I actually just tried to record another video, but it wasn't for YouTube. It was for something else. But while I was here, I thought maybe since I'm here, let's just talk to the camera. Shit. And I don't have a script. So this is gonna probably be, I don't know how long it's gonna be. And I don't know how good it's gonna be. It might not even see the light of day. So, all right. Where do I start? I don't want to take y'all back 10 years ago. I'll just take y'all back 4 years ago. So 4 years ago, I was gearing up for my 10th year of education. I was a teacher at a local poverty-stricken school district here in Texas, and I actually loved my job up until a certain point, and I feel like a lot of people go through, go through seasons. I'm sure a lot of people go through seasons where they like where they're at, and when you like where you're at, you get really comfortable there, and that's what I did. I stayed at a job for 10 years, and if y'all can, I mean, like I be having a hard time believing in myself that I stayed put for 10 years, but I did. I did. It wasn't until 2019 when I had my daughter Logan that everything changed. I remember after she was born, I don't know if I should call it an epiphany or what, but after she was born, I started kind of like reflecting over my life and all the things that I had for her now that she's here. This baby that I prayed for and so excited to have. Did I have a home for her? Do I have a life for her? And I did. I had a lot of things for her, but it dawned on me one day that if she saw me where I was at, she wouldn't be proud of me. She wouldn't be ashamed of me, but she probably wouldn't be proud of me. When I say I don't think my daughter was proud, I don't think she would be proud of me. It's because I had nothing. I own nothing. And I was literally just floating, coasting through life financially and like presently. Like I literally just coasted. That day, I remember sitting in her bed. I was sitting in her room, and I just opened my laptop and I was like, 200 bucks will give me an LLC. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I don't know how to move forward. I don't know what this is gonna be or where this is gonna go, but 200 bucks can give me an LLC. I can start some kind of business. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't. I had no clear direction. So I started an LLC, and honestly, my idea was real estate. I was like, I'll do something in real estate. That's what everybody doing. That sounds easy. That sounds fun. Let's try real estate. So I got the LLC and kind of set it up. Just made it official. I didn't have anything to other than the address and my payment. That's all you need to make it official. And so I made it official, and then literally after I got the LLC, I got on Pinterest. I say trusting God changed my life, and that did. But I feel like I had to be prompted or directed or led to. And Pinterest was a big leading factor. I get on Pinterest, and while I'm on there, I just see a whole bunch of things about making money. And it was like, you can make money doing this. You can make money doing that. You can make money doing this. And so one of the things that I felt like I needed was more money. And I realized soon after having a kid how expensive they were. And I knew my job could only provide for me so much. My job, and some people can go places and ask and negotiate and advocate for themselves and make more money. But in education, It's just solely based off of your experience. And even if you do have a lot of experience, it just moves up in tiny increments, tiny tiers. And the comfortable me really didn't notice it, really didn't care about it. I could pay my bills with it. But the newly catapulted mother me was like, this ain't enough. And so I got on Pinterest, and the reason I got on Pinterest is because Pinterest was already saving my life. I would get on Pinterest and look for help with raising a kid, or wait, look for help with taking care of a kid, because I had never done it before and nobody around me had ever done it before. So there was no one for me to ask questions to. So I just resorted to Pinterest. And so while I was on Pinterest, I was also searching for motherhood things, but I was also seeing, because if you've ever got on Pinterest, they will broadcast that you can make money from blogging. You can make money online. You can make money from your laptop. And so while I'm seeing these things, I'm also in my peripheral seeing that I can make money while I'm on Pinterest. I'm on Pinterest every day trying to figure out how to take care of this baby. So I started researching it, and shortly after, I realized that they're just blogging, they're writing, and I have a background in writing. I can write. So what do I write about? I wrote about the journey that I had just started, my journey with motherhood. And so I started a blog. I taught myself WordPress. This was back in the day. You ain't got to do all that stuff today. You could hire somebody to start the blog and you just go in there and make your entries. I started taking my own pictures. I started sharing. I started learning SEO. The blog took off. I had built my Pinterest, I had built the blog, and now I was like, let's go try our hand over here at Instagram. So I go to Instagram, and child, it was a different beast, definitely a different beast. But I find a community over there, a community of other mom bloggers, other new moms, other new bloggers, and slowly but surely it turns into my little safe space on the internet. And so I have friends over there. I have friends that I've known for years, just strictly online, that I'm meeting in person. I'm over there and I'm blogging and I'm posting pictures, because at the time Instagram was strictly photo. And so a friend of mine who is a friend now, but she was a complete stranger then, she hops in my DMs and she says, I'm just patiently waiting on you to open your books. And I knew she was talking about photography. She was talking about my camera. I knew how to take my photos. No one had ever hired me, or no one had ever even inquired that I take their photos. But I'm online and I'm in Dallas, and so other people that are online and in Dallas, they need people to take their photos. And so she just said, I'm patiently waiting on you to open your books. And it was never something that even crossed my mind. Like, I was never planning on being nobody's photographer and taking nobody's pictures. I messaged her back and I'm like, girl, I'm not good at it. So let's just get together and let's try it. The photos were, it was like bad, but not terrible. Eventually, we continued to shoot together, and eventually the photos looked really good. And I started becoming proud of them and wanting to post them and wanting to take more and take other people's photos. And I opened my books for the first time, and people started booking. And the pivot, every time I pivoted, it just got me to a better situation. And so here I am. I still got my 9 to 5. I'm still going to work. This is during the pandemic too, the panini, whatever y'all call it. This was during the pandemic too. But I still got my 9 to 5, and now I have this side hustle, and honey, she was bringing in some money. I was maxing out my Saturdays. I was making a lot of money. I remember another client of mine eventually said, so when are you going to go full time? And I remember when she said it, I was like, girl, never. I can't depend on y'all to help me pay my bills. I ain't never going full time. But her asking me that made me think about it. It kind of just brought something that was never in my mind kind of to the forefront. And now I'm like, could I? Let's talk about the pivots though. It was Pinterest, and then we pivoted to Instagram, and then we pivoted to photography. And then Instagram does what it does, and it threw this monkey wrench into my formula. I was working my 9 to 5. I was making money. I was living a really good life. I was living a really good life. And so it kind of, and at this time, simultaneously, while I'm working my 9 to 5 and making a little money and being a mom, I started hating my job. I started like, it slowly started to become a place that I didn't like and I wasn't comfortable with anymore. And I don't know if that was due to the pandemic. I don't know if that was due to being a new mom. I don't know if that was due to me making money outside of this place and seeing that there's a life past what y'all, the paycheck that y'all giving me. I don't know, but it boiled over and I was ready to quit. And so Instagram it throws a complete monkey wrench into my plans when it introduced Reels, when it introduced short form video. Because as a photographer, 100% of my business was coming from social media, and 100% of my business was for social media. I would take pictures for social media. You could put them on your website, and people did, and people started their blogs and posted them on their blogs. But Instagram and social media was my business. And so Instagram throws this monkey wrench and they're like, I know photos is making y'all a whole bunch of money. I know y'all are living y'all's best life, but we finna shake things. Like we finna shake the table. Instagram throws in video, and at first I didn't notice. I didn't. I hated it. I was like, ew. So I got to do a TikTok dance to be relevant. So anyway, at first I didn't like it, and I thought it was just, I was resisting it, but it changed my life. I pivoted. It changed my life. So now I'm into video. I'm learning how to record video for my clients, and then I'm also doing video as well. And in doing so, especially if you got on those reels in the beginning, like Instagram was just throwing reach, throwing views at people, and people were following and discovering new folks. So reels is really, that was another pivot, and it worked, and it worked amazingly. I was able to go viral a couple times, and virality should never be the goal, but it did bring in some strangers. I say that because one of the posts that went viral was not it didn't bring in the right audience, but I had no idea exactly what I was really doing. So it wasn't until later that I went viral a few more times, and I kind of found like my flow and my girls and my tribe and the people that I want to hang out with and the stuff I want to see on Instagram. And so after going viral, my follower count skyrocketed. It really went pretty high. I say high. I mean, it's not like super high, but I crossed over the 10,000 threshold, and people weren't doing that, especially the girls that I was rolling with. They weren't doing that back then. And then eventually it grew, but me pivoting to Reels is how I grew. And in growing, I started landing paid brand deals. And that was the icing on the cake. So here I am with my 9 to 5. Now I have started this photography business. I'm making money off of it. I'm booking 6 shoots. I'm booked out 3 weekends out of the month. Making pretty good money on that. And then I end up gaining a lot of followers, and now brands are trying to pay me 4 figures to just put products in front of people or create content and storylines around products. And one day, a brand reached out to me and they wanted to pay me $2,500. And I'm just going to throw the number out there because why not? Because it's a huge part of this story. A brand reached out and they was like, we'll pay you $2,500 to create one 15-second video. But we need it by Thursday. I do the math in my head and I'm like, $2,500. I got 2 days to make this reel. How am I gonna make it? Because I work 9 to 5, and when I get off at 5, I gotta go get my daughter, and then I'm on mom duty until about 10 p.m. that night, and at 10 p.m. the sun's gone, and I can't record this video. And then I do that on Tuesday, and then Wednesday, damn, and I can't take off of work because my job ain't playing that. Because there is a time restraint, I cannot accept this deal that will pay me what I make in 2 weeks at my job. It only takes me one day to create. And I knew then it was time for me to quit my job. If I could just get 2 of these a month, I just need 2 brand deals. If I could just get 2 of these a month, then I'm matching what my job brings me in. And that ain't even taking into consideration my photography business. So that's just a raw, authentic story about how I was able to quit my job. I know a lot of people have a lot of different stories, different routes, different ways that they did it. I will say deciding to quit my job and quitting my job didn't happen simultaneously. Once I decided that I'm no longer happy here and there's other avenues that I should be looking into, then I took it straight to God. And I was like, Father, show me exactly how to make this happen. And together we devised a step-by-step plan. I'm going to just stick the plan up here. Because I was getting essentially three streams of income. I had my job, I had photography, and I had brand deals. Because I was making that money, I was able to purchase a house. I was able to pay off my car. I was able to get my living expenses to a place that I could manage when I walk away from this job. So for the next year, that was year 10. For the next year, I did the things that God told me to do on that list. And when my contract was up, I had a tough decision. I had a decision, do I go back to safety, go back to predictability? Do I go back to this mediocre life, or do I bet on myself? I knew I could not do both of them at the same time any longer because I was working 21 days straight. I was working Monday through Friday and then weekend, and then I would be off a weekend. So I was working 21 days straight before I would get a break, and I knew I was sick. I knew I was, I didn't feel good. I didn't look good. And I was just kind of just pushing myself over the limit. And I knew if I signed another contract, I was going to try to do that for another year. And so I had to make the decision to not renew my contract. But before I did that, I made sure I had a few things in place. I made sure I had an emergency fund. I made sure I had my car paid off. I made sure my living expenses were as low as I could possibly get them. No credit card debt, no debt essentially. At the time, my student loans were paid off. Like, it was just a beautiful situation. Thank you so much, God. It was just a beautiful situation, and I was able to walk away from my job. And that was 2 years ago. And welcome. So if I could give anybody any advice, my advice would be just to start. Just go. Whatever idea you have, it might not be the idea that takes you to great heights, but it will, and I promise you, it will be an idea that opens the door, that takes you to another step, that takes you to another place, that takes you to this level, and eventually you'll be exactly where you want to be. So my advice is just to start, whatever it is. It could be social media, it could be Instagram, it could be YouTube, it could be this small business, it could be going to college, whatever it is, just start it. See where it takes you. Bye!